Coming up on the October 28th edition of Sports Extra.
The Heels were ring-a-ding-dinging, a little something called a victory bell on Saturday.
Another dominant weekend by the field hockey team, even without two of its stars.
And ooh, baby, only 3 days until the best time of the year. All that and so much more, Sports Extra starts right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
In the past few years, top of the afternoon to you. I'm Devontae Anthony.
And I'm Brian Gallagher. The Heels won the 2017 Men's Basketball National Championship after losing in the finals in 2016.
The field hockey team won the national title in 2018 after falling in the national semifinals or finals for 8 years in a row.
And on Saturday, the football Heels had their own shot at redemption. UNC hasn't beaten Duke in football since 2016, and on Saturday, the greatest rivalry in sports took place at Kenan Stadium with a victory bell on the line. With the ACC Coastal Division up for grabs, Sam Howell got the party started in the first quarter with a beautiful corner throw to Bo Corrales. It's Bo time. After throwing only 3 interceptions all season, Howell threw 2 picks against Duke, including this one early. Instead of thinking about past mistakes, Howell delivered again for the Heels when he unleashed a 47-yard touchdown to Daz Newsome to put the UNC up by 11. Duke quarterback Quentin Harris dragged the Blue Devils back into the game when he found Scott Bracey in the end zone. Now, after a massive fumble by Javonte Williams, Duke looked ready to give UNC more heartbreak when a face mask penalty set Duke up near the goal line. Duke's attempt at a game-winning touchdown fell short when Chasserat came up huge with the game-winning interception to give UNC the win 20-17 and take back that victory bell.
Our kids are so excited to have the bell back. I asked our kids on the field the other day, how many of you have had the bell? And on the field with a travel squad, there were 5. So this is really an emotional time for them and a fun time for them too.
Before the play, we got in the huddle. Coach Bateman said to expect the pop pass, kind of the formation they were giving us. So that's what we did. Just kind of played it. I think Xtra got a good hit on the running back or something to make him, throw a back ball. We're just able to, make a play on it for the team.
I trust our defense. They played great all game. They were making plays, causing turnovers. So as close as they got to the end zone, I still trust in my defense.
And before we say anything more about Chasserat and Sam Howell, let's give our football analyst, Caroline Boyer, the opportunity to speak her mind. Sweet Caroline.
The Heels brought home the bell with a win against Duke, and Mack Brown became the winningest coach in UNC football history. Sounds like a good Saturday to me. This was UNC's first win against Duke since November 7th, 2015. One key to this win was the impressive running game. The Heels dominated on the ground, rushing for 205 yards and averaging 4.6 yards per carry. Javonte Williams led the team with 111 yards. Michael Carter added 64 yards to the total, and Antonio Williams added 50. Carolina Football tweeted out an image of UNC's 3 newest pre-law students saying, if you've got a problem, call the running back firm of Williams, and Carter, and they'll rush to your aid. Next up, the Heels face UVA on Saturday in a battle for ACC supremacy. The Cavaliers are coming off a 28-21 loss to Louisville. The Wahoos didn't show up to play against the Cardinals. This was UVA's 3rd consecutive road defeat. Despite the loss, the Cavaliers have a solid defense. UVA has the nation's 8th ranked defense and gives up 270.3 yards per game. The team is tied for 4th nationally with 4 sacks per game. This is something the UNC offense needs to prepare for. The UVA defense does a good job of containing the edges, forcing the opposing offense to come inside. UVA's quarterback Bryce Perkins has also proven himself as one of college football's best QBs. A dual-threat quarterback, Perkins is ranked as the 15th best starting quarterback in the country and the number 2 in the ACC behind Clemson's Trevor Lawrence. Virginia lost its ACC Coastal lead with this loss, so this game will be a critical meeting for the 2 teams. The Heels and the Cavaliers are the only 3-2 teams in the division.
Thanks, Caroline. One player was looking for some personal redemption on Saturday. 2 years ago in Kenan Stadium, playing quarterback as a redshirt freshman, Chad Surratt threw an interception against Duke in the fourth quarter that gave the Blue Devils the 27-17 win. But on Saturday, the Duke Blue Devils took the ball all the way down to the 2-yard line where quarterback Quentin Harris handed the ball off to running back Deion Jackson, who jumped and threw a pass just as he was hit by UNC defensive back DJ Ford. With only 14 seconds left, the ball came right to Surratt, who bobbled the ball before pulling it to himself to give himself redemption and revenge. Although only a freshman quarterback, Sam Howell is having a superb first season. Howell has produced tremendous numbers up to this point and is continuing to get better. Through 7 games, Howell has completed 149 of 244 passes for 1,892 yards, wow, which is already the second most by any UNC freshman quarterback in one season. At his current pace of 270 yards per game, he's on the track to surpass TJ Yates' freshman mark of 26 for 55 and would end up with the fourth most passing yards for any Tar Heel with more than 3,200 yards on the season. The most impressive stat is his touchdown total. He already holds the school's record for single season passing touchdowns by a freshman with 20. With only 11 more, he would overtake Mitch Trubisky's mark for the most by any Carolina quarterback in a season. This time last year, the Heels were 1-6, making this season's 4-for-4 record a breath of fresh air. Close games are nothing new to the Tar Heels, but the team and Coach Larry Fedora's final season won only one game that was decided by touchdowns or less. The boys this year have won 3 nail-biters. This season, they're 11 for 14 on fourth down conversions. Last year, they were a disappointing 10 for 21. Without the team's leading scorer, Aaron Matson, who's playing with the national team in India, the field hockey squad faced 13th-ranked Boston College on Friday. Brian?
The Tar Heels have rarely trailed in games this season, but in this contest, it was the Eagles who got on the board first. When this ball slipped past the stick of sophomore midfielder Abby Pitchcron in the 43rd minute right here, UNC found itself going down in the fourth quarter when the Tar Heels regrouped by this shot by sophomore forward Riley Fulmer less than 3 minutes into the final frame, shown right here, which was the answer for North Carolina that they needed. In the final 10 minutes, the team traded goals and the game was tied late. That was until senior midfielder Yentl Lehman saved the day, finding the back of the net on an assist from redshirt freshman back Romeo Ricardo. The team missed goalie Amanda Henry and attacker Aaron Matson again on Sunday, but the Heels were able to pull together for a good team win. Late in the third quarter, senior Megan Jerneval found the back of the net off a deflection to put the Heels on the board. Despite 8 penalty corners, the Heels remained scoreless for the rest of the game. Senior Alex Halpin led the lockdown defense, tallying 6 saves and earning her first career shutout of the season. The Heels recorded their 39th straight win.
It's nice that we got the one in, and that's all we need to win. So, and our whole defense was pretty good too, especially at the end, like keeping composure and really protecting the ball.
Telling you about the best D1 team in the nation is one thing. It's another thing to have the best D1 team tell you. With that, we gladly welcome Catherine Hayden in our studio with our wonderful Kirsten Clark.
Catherine, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming. So I know this weekend you guys had a different game plan because you didn't have 2 of your key players, Aaron Matson and Amanda Henry. What was that like?
It was okay. I mean, we have a really deep bench. So Alex came in for Amanda in goal, and she played great for us. She has a lot of experience in net. And then Aaron, obviously a huge offensive threat for us. So we really wanted to work on keeping that connection between the midfielders and the forwards on the field. So Riley came in, she had her first career start, and she scored a big-time goal for us against BC on Friday.
Wow, good. So now we actually have some plays for you to break down for us. Tell us about how you guys kind of compensated without having Aaron there.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll play this first goal is what we call a right-sided baseline attack from Lena. So she's a midfielder, but as you see, she attacked the baseline, drew some defenders, and then what we work on a lot in practice is having people in the right spots. So as you see here, we have a player on the P spot and then far post, and so we call it a dirty ball. Lena sent in a bouncy ball, and we were lucky to get that off the goalie and kind of land on Riley's stick for an open goal. And then this is similar, also a baseline attack. Hannah made a really good T-spot lead out, which is another thing we've been working on. And if you watch Meg here, she does a great job to step in front of her defender. So Hannah sends her a dirty ball, and she just backdoors her defender to get that first touch and goes right by the goal. So, and then this is a corner play. We call this pass right. So Yentl gives the ball to Romeo, who was doing the pass right in place of Aaron this weekend. And she showed a lot of maturity here to give it back into Yentl because she realized she didn't have a clear shot. So a lot of times when Erin's in, she'll just take this shot from over here. But Romay saw this girl kind of inching in on her and gave it back to Yentl, who had a better shot, and that was the game-winning goal in the BC game on Friday.
Right, that was a great shot. You guys really know how to execute. And now this team is going to get Erin back after this next game, and you all are poised to make another run at a championship. What are your expectations moving forward?
We just want to keep raising the bar in practice, getting better each week. We're by no means satisfied with where we're at right now, so we have a lot of room to grow, a lot of growing to do, and we really want the championship bad, so we're going to work hard for it.
Oh yeah. And then I have to ask, what would it mean to you guys to be in another championship?
It would mean everything. As a fifth-year senior, I know there's a lot of us, we know what it was like to win last year. We want that feeling back. So we also know what it's like to lose, and that's something we're not willing to feel again. So
True. Very exciting. Well, thank you, Catherine. And before we go, I must say, what's going on with the eye patch?
2 weeks ago, took a stick to the face, so had to get 30 stitches, but I'm able to just bandage it up, and it doesn't block my vision or anything, so it's fine.
Good. And hey, Halloween's coming up. Might be a great look.
Yep.
Thanks, Catherine. Sending it back to you guys.
That's one terrific team. And now, the most wonderful time of the year is finally daggum here. Stay tuned.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
It's me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small,
That video has me hyped, my guy. Are you ready for the season to start?
Are you kidding? I'm always excited and ready to see the bigs get bigger.
But some fans, they'll be missing a couple of players from last year. You know?
Yeah.
After being the number 7th overall pick in the 2019 draft, Kobe White is now looking to be the cornerstone for the Chicago Bulls' future. White is getting buckets. Only 3 games into his rookie year, he might not be in the starting 5 just yet, but if he keeps continue putting in the work he's been doing, it won't be long. His first basket in the NBA was a 3, no surprise there, and we all know he can shoot all over the floor. And it only takes White 3 dribbles to get down the court and get crafty and execute. In White's first game, he scored 17 points, which was 1 more than MJ in his debut. In their win against the Memphis Grizzlies, White had 25 points, 2 assists, and was crucial to their comeback. Averaging 16.7 points, 5 rebounds, and 3.3 assists, the former Tar Heel could be the next NBA Rookie of the Year. Kobe White isn't the only Tar Heel lighting it up in the NBA. 14 former Tar Heels are in the league, and the Lakers have Danny Green scoring 18.5 points, shooting 64% from 3, and the former 7th pick in the 2012 NBA draft, Harrison Barnes, is shooting 50% from the field and averaging 10.7 points per game for the Sacramento Kings. Most recent Tar Heel draft pick, Cam Johnson, had his first start for the Phoenix Suns Saturday night against the LA Clippers and scored 4 points. He's already analyzed field hockey for us, but we now have Adrian Walker back in studio to give us the rundown on the basketball team, the sport he thinks he's a genius in and also thinks he can beat me on one-on-one, which is completely false. Adrian, what do you have to tell us?
1, I am a genius, Brian. 2, I can definitely beat you one-on-one. Tar Heels fans are excited for this season to start, but I have to be real with you. The excellence that Tar Heel fans are expecting might not come until later in the season when Roy's coaching starts bearing the fruit. What most people don't realize is just because the Heels secured another good recruiting class, it doesn't mean they can automatically replace the production Carolina had last year. UNC lost 80% of its scoring production, whether that be Kobe White, Cam Johnson, or Luke May. Not to mention 75% of the rebounding production and nearly 80% of the team's passing production. The additions of Cole Anthony and Armando Bacot are exciting for the program, but it's going to take a lot of work from transfers and returners to replace what the Heels lost. But this is also a very different team than last year's squad. Throughout his first 2 years at Carolina, Garrison Brooks has had to play the 5, with Roy having to go to small ball lineups in order to keep the best players on the court. This year, he's going to have a legitimate center in Armando Bacot. Every year Roy has won a national championship with UNC, there's a common denominator. He has a dominant old-school style big man, he has a dominant point guard, he has a wing who can shoot the lights out, and he has one player who can kind of do it all. This year, he has a foundation that bodes well with a projected dominant point guard in Cole Anthony, a lights-out wing shooter, a player who can kind of do it all in Leaky Black, and 2 dominant bigs this year in Garrison Brooks and Armando Bacot. It's a lineup that might lose some games early on because there's so much production to replace, but once these Heels get their feet underneath them, their preseason ranking of number 9 might look foolishly low.
So, what do you guys think is going to happen this year? How are you guys feeling? Sweet 16 appearance at the minimum.
Sweet 16, Devontae?
I don't know. I think that the guys are going to do amazing this year.
Personally, I think they're going to go to the Final Four. I don't know if they're going to win a national championship, but we're looking forward to the season to start.
See ya, Adrian. It wasn't just any senior day for the women's soccer team Sunday. With the win, the Tar Heels would clinch the ACC regular season championship. The Tar Heels got the scoring started when Zoe Red-Eye launched an absolute missile from outside the box, hitting the top of the crossbar and finding the back of the net. What a beautiful shot. The Hokies did their best to hang with Carolina, but an own goal late in the second half crushed Tech's upset bid as Carolina captures its 23rd ACC regular championship.
The UNC men's soccer team lacked scoring when they hosted Virginia Tech on Friday night at Dorrance Field. In the 7th minute, Jonathan Jimenez looked to put the Tar Heels on top as he raced past the defender to go one-on-one with the keeper. The Heels then had some back-and-forth action, which allowed Jack Scahan to take a shot, but no goal. Louisville's Kino Rasuki shot the ball, but Alex Smear came in clutch with the block. Then Haji Akadir immediately sent the ball into the goal to score for Louisville. The Tar Heels thought they found their game-tying goal when Raul Aguilera led an offensive attack in the 84th minute, but it wasn't enough as the Heels lose 1-0.
I think they're laying on the line right now. They're really digging, trying to make it work, and I just wish they could get more reward from their efforts.
UNC came into Friday's match against Syracuse red, hot, and undefeated in ACC play at Carmichael Arena. After Carolina took the first 2 sets, Syracuse bounced back, winning a close 3rd set. But Carolina would slam the door in the 4th set with a vicious kill by Destiny Cox. Look at that. She would finish with 8 on the night. Once again, the consistent play by freshman sensations Parker Austin and Lauren Harrison helped the Tar Heels take the set and the match against a struggling Syracuse team. On Sunday, the Heels crushed the Boston College Eagles with a dominant 3-set performance. The Heels took the first set 25-17 with 5 kills from Lauren Harrison and 4 from Carly Peck. The Heels increased their lead 2-0 with this nasty kill from Parker Austin. Again, Austin led the Heels with 15 kills, 35 attacks, and 16 points for the match. A final kill from Arstey Atantai would send the Eagles home setless and put the Heels at 2-0 for the weekend, 10-10 for the season.
The UNC men's golf team closed out its fall season ranked 9th overall, according to Golf Week. With sophomore Ryan Burnett leading the charge, reporter Alex Tim sat down with Burnett to talk about him being on a watch list for one of the top awards in collegiate golf.
UNC sophomore Ryan Burnett has taken his game to an elite level this fall, and he's putting the country on notice. Burnett was named to the Fred Haskins Award watch list and is in the running to become the first Tar Heel to win college golf's top honor.
Anytime you can be associated with the greats of the game and the current top players in the world is a really cool thing. So, I mean, there's just a lot of history that goes into the award. It's been around for a really long time. And
Burnett's recognition is certainly deserved. After winning at the Turning Stone Tiger Invitational and earning honors as the ACC Golfer of the Month in September, Burnett climbed to 7th in the national rankings and feels confident that his game is all coming together.
For me, ball striking has been my strength for however long I've played golf. The last 6 years, 8 years I've played it competitively. But I think that what's kind of propelled me in the last couple months was definitely my short game.
While racking up top finishes is on the minds of athletes everywhere, Burnett tries to keep everything in perspective and trust the process.
I mean, I think that I've always kind of set goals for myself in terms of what I want to achieve. I think that obviously the Haskins Award is one of those highest honors that everyone kind of looks to. But I think there's other things. For me, I wanted to improve my short game and my putting, which I feel like I did. And I think that kind of my success was a result of that. So I think that having more of those process-driven goals has been really good for me in this last fall season, and hopefully going into the spring it'll be the same.
As for right now, Burnett plans to take a short break, but is eager to start grinding for the spring season where he can validate the high prospects and make a run at the Haskins Award. In Chapel Hill reporting, I'm Alec Tim.
The UNC golf team will return to action for the spring season on February 3rd in Florida as Ryan Burnett continues in his pursuit for the Haskins Award and some glory for the team.
Now, Brian, November 1st is right around the corner. You know what that means? It means that football season is coming to an end and basketball season is on the horizon. November 1st, we play Winston-Salem State. Carolina basketball team, how do you think they're going to do?
I will be there front row with my face painted blue.
Blue? Carolina blue or Duke blue?
What do you think, Devontae?
I don't know, Brian. I don't know.
Carolina blue and heels by 90.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Sports Extra. We'll see you next Monday.